All right, this is Eston Talavera back with you again, and I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the new computers that just came out from Apple. Apple has developed three new models of computers, a new MacBook Air, a new MacBook Pro, and a new Mac Mini. For those of you who don't know, the MacBook Air is a very thin, very lightweight device meant for doing web browsing and email and very simple tasks. And it works really well for those simple tasks. The processor is pretty good most of the time. It works relatively well for most things. And that's kind of the MacBook Air. The battery life is pretty good on the one that I have right now, and it works really well for a lot of the tasks that I use it for. The MacBook Pro is a Pro version, and it's more used for heavy documentation. It's used for using spreadsheets, editing music, editing video, editing things like that, and it's also used to do a lot of other things. The Mac Mini is kind of an interesting computer. It's a computer that's kind of all in one, but you don't, it's a desktop computer, so you have to plug it in and you have to keep it plugged in the entire time while you're using it. You can't take it with you places very easily. And so it makes it kind of hard to use in a lot of situations. But you, for that cost, you do get really good amount of processor speed, and we don't really have anything to compare the processors to these new M1 processors that are in the new Mac models. We don't really have anything to compare them to. We just have some of the some of the knowledge that we have. I just recently purchased a computer, so at this point, not sure what's going to go on with that. But the MacBook Air and MacBook Pro boast an 18-hour battery life, which is a huge upgrade from 10 to 11 hours to 12 hours. Obviously, the Mac Mini will work for as long as you have it plugged in. One thing I will say about the Mac Mini is that you have to have a monitor plugged into it in order to be able to see anything. For people that are sighted, in order to use the computer, you would need to plug a monitor into it, and the monitor does not come with the device. You have to buy a separate monitor. Obviously, the MacBook Air and the Mac Pro have monitors and screens built into them. Another big difference between the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro is that the Pro has what's called the Touch Bar, and the Touch Bar is basically a bar across the top of across the top that allows you to use the function keys as kind of a touch gesture thing. And it's okay that way, I guess. I've heard good and bad reviews of the touch bar. From my perspective, I don't see it as useful, but some people like it and some people don't, and that's okay. Touch ID comes with both the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro. Sorry, there's a big difference. The MacBook Pro has that, so all of the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro, and the Mac Mini all have two USB-C ports, or Thunderbolt 4 ports, or whatever they're calling it now. I've lost track of what they're calling it, so I'm just calling them USB-C ports right now because that's the most that's the easiest thing to call them. So they have only two USB-C ports. The Mac Mini also comes with several other ports, including an Ethernet port, and several USB Type A ports, which are the standard larger rectangular USB ports that you usually see on larger laptops. So those are some different things with the new models of MacBook Air and MacBook Pro, and the Mac Mini. I'm really excited about these. One big drawback is that you cannot run Windows, at least right now. So you can't run Windows on them right now very easily or very well. So that's kind of one drawback of these devices, is that you really cannot do that right now. I'm sure they're working on a workaround for that, but right now it's not easy to run Windows on them. Personally, I need to use Windows for certain things for college and for school. So I really need to have some kind of access to Windows for that purpose. So that's something to consider if you use Windows some. The Mac obviously comes with fantastic hardware. They do have the Apple, what I like to call the Apple tax. So they are a little bit more expensive than some other models of laptop that you can get for the same, a similar price. But what you get is a lot better hardware. It's all designed for the same thing, and it works really well all together. So those are some comments that I have about the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro. I don't have any comments right now about Big Sur or macOS 11 because I've not had a chance really to use it. I'm not updating for a few days. I kind of want to wait till things slow down a little bit for me. Right now, things in my life are really pretty hectic, so trying not to add more things right now. So working on a lot of different activities and things like that. So mostly what I wanted to come on here today was let you guys know about the MacBook Air models, the MacBook Pro, and the Mac Mini that just was released. You still can purchase an Intel-based MacBook Pro from Apple. I'm sure you can purchase Intel-based MacBook Pros and probably MacBook Airs from places like Best Buy and Walmart, but it's going to be harder and harder to find those as time goes on. So if you're wanting an Intel-based Mac laptop, you probably should get one soon because they're going to be going away pretty quickly. And Apple's going to be pushing retailers to get rid of them likely pretty quickly. So if that's something that you know that you want is an Intel-based Mac, then you probably should jump on that while you can. I'm going to come on here every once in a while and give you guys kind of an update about some technology that comes out that I know about, talk a little bit about it, let you guys know what's going on with it. I'm using the camera on my phone again, and like I said, I like to use my phone's camera because it actually tells me when things are level. It doesn't tell me when my face is in the camera, but it tells me when I've got the camera level for the most part. And so I think I can get a little bit better video for you guys who are looking at this and watching this. And again, I hope this video was helpful and was interesting, was useful to you. I enjoy making these videos. I enjoy posting them. And, right now I don't have a lot of people following me, but hopefully, that will change here soon. I'm really excited to be able to do this. It's just kind of a fun thing that I get to do. There's not really, I'm not trying to make any money off of it or anything like that. I'm just doing it because, basically because I can. So, if you want more information about these Mac models that I talked about, you can go to the Apple website and go to the Apple store, and look at those models on their store. Please like and subscribe if you wish to do so. And thank you for watching.